Hi, I'm Larry Mendte. Next on Jersey Matters. Does a recent Supreme Court ruling open the door to school vouchers? And the Broadway hit show Bandstand has its roots right here in New Jersey. And our big interview this week is with Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno, now the Republican candidate for governor. But first, a few words. What if you held a gubernatorial election and no one cared? Maybe it's just the doldrums of summer and things are going to pick up in the fall, but it's eerily disturbing how few people care about the 2017 New Jersey gubernatorial race between Republican Kim Guadagno and Democrat Phil Murphy. Just a reminder, Election Day is November 7th. That's just 3 months away. So what's happening? Why the big election yawn? Maybe it's because right now people don't believe the race is that close. A recent poll shows Democrat Phil Murphy with a commanding lead, but poll numbers shouldn't be your excuse to not be engaged. It is not only your right, it is your duty to be more engaged as a citizen of the United States and a citizen of New Jersey. In 2013, in the race for governor, voter turnout was less than 40%. It's expected to be even lower this time around. Don't let that happen. Be engaged. Listen to the candidates, address your concerns, and then vote. And if you don't, then don't complain about taxes or transportation or a host of other problems, because you know what? You're the problem. And with that, here is our interview with Lieutenant Governor and Republican candidate for governor, Kim Guadagno. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. Every time we talk to a candidate for the first time, and this is the first time I've had a chance to talk to you, we give them an opportunity to just talk about themselves and introduce themselves to the voters. So
we'll just do the bio. So I was born in Iowa, and everybody says Iowa, but I moved all around the country. I mean, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Connecticut, New York, several different times up until the time I turned 20. Then I went to college for 4 years, law school, and then I worked in the city for a while. Finally got my dream job as a federal prosecutor, where I met my husband in the Eastern District of New York, organized crime and racketeering. And we prosecuted cases, and when we decided to get married, we moved to New Jersey, where he was born and raised, not too far from where we're sitting right now. When I got involved with my kids, because I was staying home and teaching at night, I became a commissioner of my town, a little tiny town in Monmouth Beach, which is 105 on the Parkway, if anybody understands that Jersey talk. And did that for 2 years, had a chance to become the sheriff, the first woman sheriff in Monmouth County, New Jersey, which is about 650 law enforcement officers. I was the warden of the jail. I ran the youth detention center, the 911 communication center. I did that for 2 years, and then the governor called me and said, would you like to be the first lieutenant governor of the state of New Jersey? That was back in 2009. And the rest is history. And
now here you are running for governor.
Right.
I want to go back to a speech you gave a couple of weeks ago, because I know you're not a supporter of Donald Trump, but you gave a speech that was very Trumpish, where you attacked the New Jersey media and accused them of fake news because they talked about polls showing you behind, and they talked about the RNC and the RGA, the Republican Governors Association, not making your race a priority. What was fake about that?
Well, let's stop for 1 second and back up. First of all, you were in the room, and it was a long speech, and I made one comment about, I guess you could call that fake news, because there was a report that came out that RNC wasn't supporting us and RGA wasn't supporting us. And we were in a room with the co-chairman of the RNC. So clearly there was no truth to that particular story, and that's what we were saying. So the RNC not only came out and supported us right away, but also helped us raise money, and there'll be some announcements over the next couple of weeks.
Because they're going to give you money? Is that the announcement coming?
I'm not going to tell you what the announcement is, or it wouldn't be an announcement. So, but they are supporting us, and yesterday you saw we have national support. Maggie's List came out, which is the Republican conservative women's group, like the Democrats have Emily's List. The Republicans have Maggie's List, and for the first time, they've endorsed a statewide candidate, and that's me, and that came out just yesterday. I'm very proud of that national support.
The expectations game is a difficult thing. It becomes reality when people start to believe that you can't win. And I know people that like you, I know people that support you, that privately say, yeah, but she's not going to win. And I think that's what part of that speech was about. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That's what part of that speech is about. You have to stop that to raise money and to get voters out.
That happens in every
and get
campaign,
enthusiasm.
right? That happens in every campaign. This is a blue state. And the polls, the public pollings, which have been wrong more often than right, right after the primary, just reflected this state. And so what we're talking about is our message is beginning to resonate. So you see the polls getting closer. Our internal polls surely show us within striking distance, single digits. And when people get to know my opponent and know that my opponent has literally promised to raise taxes on the most taxed people in this country, they can't vote for him. We have kind of a simple message: lower taxes. Simple as that. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent or an undeclared, it's lower taxes. A very simple message in New Jersey, and that's not Republican or Democrat.
So you'll promise not to raise taxes if you become governor?
Yeah.
And you promise to lower taxes?
Right. That's exactly
if you
it.
become governor.
That's it. And in fact, I took it one step further, because I've been in New Jersey. I know New Jerseyans well enough to know that they don't believe that. They've heard it too many times. I have promised not to run again if I don't lower property taxes in New Jersey, and that's the game changer. The issue here in this election is really clear. Do you want to see raised taxes? Vote for the other guy. Because I'm not going to raise taxes. We're going to help people who need the most help. We have property tax relief plans that you can go on Kim4NJ and look up if you want.
And I've read it, and I've read it, and you've gotten credit for actually coming out with a plan. I mean,
better
a lot of people
a plan than none at all, which is what my opponent has.
Yeah, and people have pointed that out in editorials. However, the criticism is that you can't pay for your plan.
You know, the amusing thing about all of that is two things. First, you have to understand that the plan came from blue states. It came from Massachusetts and Illinois. We pulled a page out of the Democrat book, threw it down and said, I challenge you to adopt this plan to help the most vulnerable people in New Jersey, those senior citizens that have to leave because they can't afford their property taxes, those millennials who can't buy homes because property taxes continuously go up, or those families who are living paycheck to paycheck and literally sit down at dinner and say, do I pay my property tax bill tonight or do I lose my house? That's what I'm talking about, and that's what I believe is worth investing in. $1 billion is the estimated tax. What amuses me is my opponent has said he wants $75 billion of more investment, and no one challenges him about where he's going to get the money to do that. We all know that when he uses the word investment, he really means increased taxes. And if you have made the kind of promises he has made, which is increase sales tax, increase death tax, increase business tax, increase income taxes, you know people can't afford that anymore. I know that $1 billion out of a $35 billion budget, when we do our Audit Trenton program, when we take some savings out of some of the paid sick leave programs that we have in New Jersey, when we start using our money wisely in transportation or in the school system, that $1 billion can be done. And I know it because we've done it before.
You know where you can get the $1 billion? I thought of you, because I watched an interview with you when you talked about revenue coming in. And now it looks like most legal analysts believe sports betting is going to be coming to New Jersey. That's $10 billion for the state of New Jersey, and that's all going to be taxed. And it's going to bring a whole lot of money in. Have you thought of that already, and where that money would be used best and most wisely?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just because the Supreme Court granted cert, I mean, I know they're going to hear argument on it. Everybody is certainly hopeful. The question is, how long will it take? And we're elected in January. The first piece of legislation I invite the legislature to adopt is my 5% plan. So you have to be able to pay for it then. And within 100 days, I have my lieutenant governor in charge of an audit to find the money to put into that property tax plan. Because the one thing we can't do is just move the beans around the table anymore. We have to actually find the savings. And I know we can. 30 years ago, Tom Kean did it as governor. And 2 other states have saved upwards in the last 4 years doing the same kind of efficiency audit, anywhere from $500 million in 1 year to $2 billion over 4 years. So it's not unrealistic at all.
You talked about the role of lieutenant governor. I want to talk about your lieutenant governor, the lieutenant governor that you'll be running against, and also your role as lieutenant governor when Jersey Matters continues with Kim Guadagno. Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno right after this.